What if one of the most private habits men carry into older age is quietly affecting their prostate in ways no one ever explained to them? Most men over 60 were raised to believe that anything related to masturbation should either be joked about, ignored, or kept secret. Doctors rarely bring it up, friends never discuss it seriously. But here's the mystery that keeps showing up in urology clinics across the United States. Prostate symptoms don't just change with age, they change with behavior. And one behavior, in particular, starts to matter differently after 60. So, what actually happens to your prostate when you masturbate later in life, and why does the answer surprise even experienced physicians? The early clues have been hiding in medical journals and patient histories for decades. Urologists notice differences between men with similar prostate sizes but very different symptoms. Researchers observed that ejaculation frequency correlated with inflammation markers, but not in the way people expected. Large American health surveys showed patterns that didn't fit the old warnings or the old reassurances. Something important was missing from the conversation, and most men never hear it until a problem shows up. To understand what really changes after 60, we have to follow the cause and effect timeline from the beginning. The origins of this issue start in early adulthood. In your 20s and 30s, the prostate is small, flexible, and highly responsive. Ejaculation is frequent for many men, hormone levels are high, and inflammation clears quickly. According to early prostate physiology research, regular ejaculation helps move prostatic fluid and reduce temporary congestion. At this stage of life, the system is forgiving. Cause and effect are short. Behavior doesn't leave a lasting mark. Then come the changes that start quietly in the 40s. Testosterone levels begin a slow decline. The prostate starts to enlarge naturally, a process called benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH. Studies from the National Institutes of Health show that microscopic inflammation becomes more common in the prostate after age 40, even in men without symptoms. Ejaculation frequency often drops due to stress, relationships, or health. The system still works but more slowly. What once reset quickly now lingers. Now we reach the shift after 70 that most men ignore. This is the turning point. After 60 and especially after 70, the prostate becomes more sensitive to congestion, inflammation, and pressure changes. Blood flow is slower. Tissue elasticity is reduced. According to American Urological Association data, more than 50% of men over 60 have moderate to severe prostate-related urinary symptoms. This is where masturbation and ejaculation begin to have different effects than they did earlier in life, not dangerous by default, but different. The breaking point is when symptoms become visible. Nighttime urination increases, stream weakens. There's a feeling of incomplete emptying. Pelvic discomfort appears. Some men notice symptoms worsen after long periods without ejaculation. Others notice temporary irritation afterward. This contradiction confuses people. Is masturbation helping or hurting? The answer depends on how the aging prostate responds, and that's where the 6 key changes come in. Then comes the fallout. Prostate symptoms affect sleep, confidence, intimacy, and daily routine. According to U.S. health surveys, chronic sleep disruption from nocturia increases cardiovascular risk and cognitive decline. Medical visits increase. Medications are prescribed. Some men undergo procedures they may not have needed if earlier patterns were understood. The lifestyle impact spreads far beyond the prostate itself. So what do many seniors try? The failed fixes driven by old advice? Some stop ejaculating entirely out of fear. Others increase frequency aggressively after reading oversimplified claims online. Some rely solely on supplements with no evidence. But urology research shows that extremes to little or too much without context often worsen symptoms. The old advice lacked nuance. Now let's reveal the 6 changes every man over 60 must understand. The first change is congestion sensitivity. In older men, Prolonged lack of ejaculation can increase prostatic fluid buildup, contributing to pressure and discomfort. Studies observing ejaculation frequency found that moderate regular release is associated with lower inflammation markers in some men. This doesn't mean more is better. It means stagnation matters more with age. The second change is inflammation response. After 60, the prostate's inflammatory response lasts longer. Ejaculation can temporarily increase blood flow and immune activity. For many men, this is beneficial. For men with active prostatitis or infection, it may temporarily increase irritation. The effect depends on baseline prostate health, something rarely discussed. The third change is pelvic floor involvement. Aging affects not just the prostate, but the muscles surrounding it. Masturbation involves pelvic floor contractions. In men with tight or dysfunctional pelvic floor muscles, this can either relieve tension or aggravate symptoms. Physical therapists specializing in men's pelvic health increasingly see this connection. The fourth change is hormone interaction. Testosterone is lower, but estrogen activity within prostate tissue increases with age. Ejaculation no longer interacts with hormones the same way it did at 30. Research suggests this shift influences tissue growth patterns more than sexual activity itself, but behavior still plays a role in symptom expression. The fifth change is urinary timing. Ejaculation close to bedtime may temporarily increase urinary urgency in some older men due to prostate swelling and nervous system stimulation. For others, it improves sleep by reducing discomfort. Timing now matters in ways it never did before. The sixth change is psychological impact. After 60, sexual behavior is tightly linked to stress, sleep, and self-perception. Shame, fear, or misinformation can amplify symptom awareness through the nervous system. American studies on chronic pelvic pain show that anxiety alone can worsen prostate-related symptoms independent of physical findings. Link this to today, and the pattern becomes clear. Across millions of American men, masturbation after 60 is neither inherently harmful nor universally protective. Its impact depends on frequency, timing, prostate condition, pelvic floor health, and overall inflammation. Men who understand these factors report fewer symptoms and better quality of life. Men who rely on silence or myths often struggle longer than necessary. So, what can you do today if you're over 60? First, direct action. Aim for moderation, not extremes. Regular but not excessive ejaculation appears to support prostate comfort for many men, according to population studies. Second, direct action. Track patterns, not opinions. Notice how your body responds over time: sleep, urination, discomfort, and adjust accordingly. Your data matters more than generalized advice. Third, direct action. Bring this topic to your doctor. Prostate health improves when behavior, symptoms, and medical care are aligned. Silence delays solutions. Here's the clear warning based on evidence. Sudden changes in urinary symptoms, pain, or blood in urine or semen, not normal aging and require medical evaluation. Never ignore those signs. And here's the open thought to hold for the next video. What other private habits quietly shape men's health after 60 simply because no one talks about them honestly? If this helped you understand your body better, like this video and share it with someone who needs clear, shame-free information. And for the next chapter where we break down how sleep, stress, and prostate health interact after 70, subscribe now. Knowledge is power, especially when it's been hidden for too long.